Hello everyone. Today we are going to see phrasal verbs. First, we are going to see what is a phrasal verb. A phrasal verb is a phrase that's made up of a verb and another word or two, usually a preposition but sometimes an adverb. So students, what is a phrasal verb? A phrasal verb is a phrase that's made up of a verb and another word or two, usually a preposition but sometimes an adverb. So before we can talk about English phrasal verbs, it's important to understand what verbs, prepositions and adverbs are. First, let's see about a verb. A verb is an action word. It describes something happening. Example, hearing, seeing. Then, a state of being. Example, to live, to sleep. Or an action being done. Example, to read, to sing. Next, let's see about a preposition. A preposition is a word that describes the relationship between two words. For example, the bees are above the table or under the table but not inside the table, hopefully. Prepositions mainly deal with location or direction. Example, on, through, around, and time. Example, by or around a certain time. Next, let's see about an adverb. An adverb is a word that describes a verb. For example, you can run quickly or slowly and arrive to class early or late. So students, I hope you are clear with verb, preposition and adverb. Students, what is a phrasal verb? A phrasal verb is a verb that is made up of a main verb together with an adverb or a preposition or both. First, let's see about an adverb. An adverb is a word that modifies a verb, an adjective or another adverb. Now let's see one example sentence. He ran fast. So in this sentence, fast is an adverb. It modifies the verb ran. Next, let's see about the preposition. The preposition is a word used with a noun or a pronoun to show their relation with something else. Now let's see one example sentence. The cow is in the garden. So in this sentence, the preposition in shows the relation of the noun cow with the garden. Next, we are going to see importance of phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are important because they are extremely common in informal as well as formal English. In addition, learning to use phrasal verbs correctly will help you sound natural in conversations. Now that you know what verbs and prepositions are, I hope you are ready to start putting them together into phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs work by changing the verb's meaning based on the preposition that follows them. It's easier than you think. You probably already know a number of phrasal verbs. For example, so come on, let's learn some phrasal verbs. The words come on in that sentence are a phrasal verb. The word come on its own means to move towards something together with the preposition on. Thou the phrase come on becomes a phrase of encouragement. Students, now let's see how to use English phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are used just like verbs. You can use them anywhere they make sense. Usually, the verb and preposition in a phrasal verb need to be said together, like in the phrase fall down. In some cases, thou. You can separate the verb and the preposition by putting other words in between them. For example, the phrase turn off can be used just like that, or it can be interrupted by stating what you are turning off. In other words, you can say turn off the TV, but you can also say turn the TV off. Both are correct. Students, another thing to keep in mind about phrasal verbs is that they are still verbs. That means the verb part of the phrase can be changed depending on the tense and subject of the sentence. So, turn off can transform like this. I turned off the TV this morning. She turns off the TV every time I enter the room. So students, it will take you a while to get used to which phrasal verbs can be separated and which can't. Next, we are going to see phrasal verbs with check. The first phrasal verb is check in. Check in means to register at a hotel for a stay. Example sentence: we haven't checked in at the hotel yet. The next phrasal verb is check out. Check out means to see something or try something out in order to learn more about it. Example sentence: check out my new car. Next, let's see about phrasal verbs with bring. The first one is bring up. Bring up means to mention something. Students, note this point. The two parts of this phrasal verb can be separated in a sentence. Now let's see one example sentence. Mark was sick and had to miss the party, so please don't bring it up. I don't want him to feel bad for missing it. The next phrasal verb is bring on. Bring on means to cause something to happen, usually something negative. The two parts of this phrasal verb can be separated by what's happening. Example sentence: his lung cancer was brought on by years of smoking. The next phrasal verb is bring it on. Bring it on means to accept a challenge with confidence. Now let's see one example sentence. You want to have a race? Bring it on. I can beat you. Next, we are going to see phrasal verbs with call. The first one is call on. This can mean either to visit someone or to use someone's or something's knowledge. For example, to visit someone, I will call on you this evening to see how you are feeling. Next, to use someone's knowledge, I may need to call on the university's excellent professors in order to answer your question. The next phrasal verb is call off. Call off means to cancel something. Now let's see one example sentence. The picnic was called off because of the rain. Next, move on to phrasal verbs with cheer. The first one is cheer on. Cheer on means to support someone by giving them words of encouragement. This phrasal verb can be separated by the name or pronoun of the person or people being cheered on. Now let's see one example sentence. Even though Samantha was in the last place, her brother cheered her on through the entire race. The next phrasal verb is cheer up. This phrase can either be used as a phrase of encouragement said to someone who seems sad, just saying cheer up to them, or it can mean to try to make someone happier. Now let's see one example sentence. Andrew was having a bad day, so his friend cheered him up by taking him out for ice cream. Next, let's see about phrasal verbs with come. The first one is come up with something. Come up with something means to think of an idea. Now let's see one example sentence. I came up with this idea for a TV show about a woman living with her best friend and daughter. I call it 2.5 Women. Next, let's see come up in other usage. Come up means to bring up a topic or when something happens unexpectedly. First, let's see to bring up a topic. Example sentence. I wanted to tell her that I got a new job, but the chance never came up. Next, let's see about unexpected occurrence. Example sentence. I was going to meet my friends for dinner, but something came up, so I had to cancel. The next phrasal verb is come in. Come in means to enter. Now let's see one example sentence. Come in, the door is open, said the grandmother to the wolf. The next phrasal verb is come across. Come across means to meet or find by chance. Now let's see one example sentence. I was cleaning the attic and I came across my high school uniform. Can you believe it still fits? The next phrasal verb is come forward. Come forward means to volunteer information about something like a crime. Now let's see one example sentence. The police are encouraging people to come forward with any information about the kidnapped girl. Next, let's see about phrasal verbs with give. The first one is give out. This phrase can mean to break down or stop working, or to hand out or distribute something. First, let's see about to stop working. Now let's see one example sentence. The city had to rebuild the bridge completely because it was about to give out and fall down. Next, let's see about to distribute. Example sentence. He has a lot of contacts because he gives out his business card to everyone he meets. Next phrasal verb is given. Given means to surrender, especially in a fight or argument. Example sentence. Ben's mother gave in and let him stay out late with his friends. The next phrasal verb is give away. Give away means to hand things out for free. This phrasal verb can be separated by the item being given away. Example sentence: when Linda's cat had kittens, she gave them all away to good homes. The next phrasal verb is give up. Give up means to stop trying, surrender. Example sentence: after 2 weeks of trying to build my own table, I gave up and just bought one. Next, let's see about phrasal verbs with look. The first one is look up. Look up means to check the meaning of something, can be separated by the item being looked up. Example sentence: if you don't know the meaning of a word, you should look it up in the dictionary. The next phrasal verb is look out. Look out means to watch out for something. Now let's see one example sentence. Look out, there is a baseball coming your way. Next, let's see about phrasal verbs with pay. The first one is pay back. Pay back means to give someone back money that you owed them, can be separated by the person getting paid back. When it's written as one word, payback means revenge. Example sentence: thanks for getting me lunch when I forgot my wallet at home. I will pay you back tomorrow. The next phrasal verb is pay for. This phrase can either mean to give someone money for a particular purpose, like paying for a new car, or to suffer because of something you did. Now let's see one example sentence. He will pay for all the problems he caused me by being late today. Next, let's see about phrasal verbs with turn. The first one is turn on or off. Turn on or off means to switch a machine or light on or off. Now let's see one example sentence. Turn off the light. I am trying to sleep. The next phrasal verb is turn around. Turn around means to move so that you are facing the opposite direction. Example sentence: Sally was about to get on the plane, but she turned around when someone called her name. The next phrasal verb is turn up. Turn up means when something that was lost is found unexpectedly. Now let's see one example sentence. Anything I lose usually turns up under the couch. It's my cat's favorite hiding place. Phrasal verbs are an important part of learning the English language. Most phrasal verbs consist of two words. The first one is verb plus adverb or verb plus preposition, but a few consist of three words. Students, in this tabular column, we are going to see phrasal verb and its meaning. Then we are going to see one example sentence. The first phrasal verb is call off. Call off means cancel. Example sentence: they called off this afternoon's meeting. The next phrasal verb is hand in. Hand in means submit something, for example, assignment. Example sentence: the students handed in their papers and left the room. The next phrasal verb is give back. Give back means turn an object. Example sentence: My brother borrowed my car. I have a feeling he is not about to give it back. The next phrasal verb is call back. Call back means return a phone call. Example sentence: I must call her back when we get to the office. Next phrasal verb is chill out. Chill out means relax. Now let's see one example sentence. I am staying at home and chilling out this evening. The next phrasal verb is clear out. Clear out means leave somewhere. Example sentence: I told them to clear out because they were making so much noise. The next phrasal verb is clear up. Clear up means improve weather. Example sentence: The skies cleared up and the sun came out. The next phrasal verb is get on. Get on means leave. Example sentence: I must be getting on. I have other things to do this evening. The next one is hit on. Hit on means have an idea. Example sentence: I suddenly hit on the solution. Now let's see 3-word phrasal verbs, that is transitive. With the following phrasal verbs, you will find 3 parts. Now let's see one example sentence. My brother dropped out of school before he could graduate. Students, in this tabular column also, we are going to see phrasal verb and its meaning. Then we are going to see example for each. The first phrasal verb is break in on. Break in on means interrupt a conversation. Now let's see one example sentence. I was talking to mom on the phone when the operator broke in on our call. The next phrasal verb is check up on. Check up on means examine or investigate. Now let's see one example sentence. The boys promised to check up on the condition of the summer house from time to time. The next phrasal verb is drop out of. Drop out of means leave school. Now let's see one example sentence. I hope none of my students drop out of school this semester. The next phrasal verb is get rid of. Get rid of means eliminate. Now let's see one example sentence. The citizens tried to get rid of their corrupt mayor in the recent election. Next phrasal verb is get through with. Get through with means finish. Example sentence: when will you ever get through with that program? The next phrasal verb is look up to. Look up to means respect. First graders really look up to their teachers. Next phrasal verb is make sure of. Make sure of means verify. Example sentence: make sure of the student's identity before you let him into the classroom. The next phrasal verb is take care of. Take care of means be responsible for. Now let's see one example sentence. My oldest sister took care of us younger children after mom died. The next phrasal verb is think back on. Think back on means recall. Now let's see one example sentence. I often think back on my childhood with great pleasure. Next, we are going to learn about intransitive phrasal verbs. The following phrasal verbs are not followed by an object. Now let's see one example sentence. Once you leave home, you can never really go back again. Now let's see the first phrasal verb, break down. Break down means stop functioning. Now let's see one example sentence. That old Jeep had a tendency to break down just when I needed it the most. The next phrasal verb is catch on. Catch on means become popular. Example sentence. Popular songs seem to catch on in California first and then spread eastward. The next phrasal verb is come back. Come back means return to a place. Example sentence. Father promised that we would never come back to this horrible place. The next phrasal verb is come in. Come in means enter. Example sentence. They tried to come in through the back door, but it was locked. The next phrasal verb is come to. Come to means regain consciousness. Example sentence. He was hit on the head very hard, but after several minutes, he started to come to again. The next phrasal verb is come over. Come over means to visit. Example sentence. The children promised to come over, but they never do. Next phrasal verb is grow up. Grow up means get older. Now let's see one example sentence. Charles grew up to be a lot like his father. The next phrasal verb is drop by. Drop by means visit without appointment. Example sentence. We used to just drop by, but they were never home, so we stopped doing that. The next phrasal verb is go on. Go on means continue. Example sentence. He would finish one Dickens novel and then just go on to the next. I have enclosed the classwork instructions in the PDF. Kindly refer it. So now we have reached the end of this session. Thank you.